If you've played any of the Poppy Playtime games over the years, whether it's from 1 to 5 or Project Playtime, you've heard the name Elliot Ludwig. Elliot Ludwig was the CEO, the creator and founder of Playtime Co., the franchise, and the sole purpose for Playtime Co. was to be the reason for a child's smile, and this is mentioned by Elliot Ludwig in the first thing we ever see for the game. Now, throughout the lifespan of Playtime Co., Elliot would go on to make some massive things like the Make a Friend machine in the 1950s, and in the 60s he would go on to make the Poppy doll, the first doll to ever talk back. Elliot Ludwig would go on to suffer a family tragedy somewhere in the 60s. Elliot would still put time and effort and pure focus onto Playtime Co. despite what's happening in his life. We come to find that he was actually successful at bringing his daughter back in the form of a Poppy doll, but before he did that experiment he did a few test runs which ties back into the prototype.
Did you say something? Oliver? If you want to talk, I'm here. I don't pretend to know how you're feeling, but...
This was always about her.
What do you mean? No. Ollie...
It was never about me. Never about my better place. It was for her. She's all you talk about!
Oh, my boy.
You don't get to call me that! Ollie's gone and I'm a test run at the prototype! When you get her back, you'll pick up a hammer just like him! Just like...
Nothing can make things go back to how they used to be, but we could be a family if you want. And for what it's worth, I think you and her would get along really well. And as for your name, well, I can call you whatever you like.
And can I meet her?
Soon. I hope. Very soon.
The prototype is a highly advanced, highly intelligent, mechanical jester, whatever it is, for its time at least in the 1960s or 70s, whenever that was created. But it turns out that the prototype was an orphan. Ollie was your average orphan in Playcare, just doing normal Playcare things, until he was picked out by Elliot Ludwig himself to become the test subject and experiment that was to become Poppy, to make sure that his daughter was a perfect run. So he didn't care what would happen to Ollie, I'm guessing. But because Ollie was a successful one, things changed. With the succession of Ollie and Poppy, the idea of bringing the dead back to life became an obsession of Elliot Ludwig's. So he opened up a Young Geniuses program where he would recruit young scientists, and this would bring along none other than Harley Sawyer. Now that's going to be a whole different video. Now, the Poppy gel has existed from experiments as low as 8.1.14, which was a rat experiment. This was before they used orphans, and this utilised, and the note says, the rat was fed 3 portions daily for 2 weeks. At the end of those 2 weeks, the rat was killed and submerged into a poppy flower and preserved in gel mixture, which would become to be Poppy gel. 1 week later, an electric shock was applied to the rat, still in gel. In an attempt to revive it, the rat remained unresponsive. This was experiment 114 document. And the first experiment that was alive was Ollie, experiment 1006. That was the first known experiment to be successful. But if you look at Poppy's hand, the endoskeleton to Poppy's hand, it's the exact same as the prototypes, but in a miniature form. We learn that this chapter that Poppy was experiment 1007, which again confirms that Ollie was the test run. There's even a tape to confirm it as well. And this just changes the perspective of Elliot Ludwig from a CEO, a creator, to create a company for kids and grown-ups alike, to be a reason for a child's smile, to obsessing over the death and bringing the dead back to life and sacrificing children for his own. So this just changes what used to be a child's company to just a full-blown experiment. And then Harley Sawyer made the Bigger Bodies initiatives, and then that went a whole different route. So the original idea was to bring his daughter back to life and then have it as normal, and then Harley Sawyer came in and changed a lot. So I'm going to be going into Harley Sawyer at one point, but that'll be another video. So how do you look at Elliot Ludwig now? Do you still think he's good? Do you still think he's bad? I'm honestly in the middle of not Harley Sawyer, of Elliot Ludwig, but yeah. But what would you do if you was Elliot Ludwig?